Hello, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon. This is Anna from Rock Dance Theater checking in with you again. It's a special Thursday, and I gotta tell you, each time I see you guys, I am enjoying more and more my home stays. Not only because fun things happen, but especially my guest today has a very fun and cool background and story. And if you guys know my regular, so to speak, Rock Dance Theater productions, it's all about the visual side. It's all about the styling. You know, the visual arts are important, among other complex things. And that's actually the very first thing that not only aside of the obvious genius music caught my attention, but when I wanted to invite my guests over, this is one of the elements that caught my attention. I figured I need to have it on my Rock Dance Theater show. Why not? So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very cool day in the metal world, and not only in rock and roll overall. My guest today is a world-renowned musician, songwriter, producer, music teacher, so many things, and also known for bands, well, a couple of little bands like ARTHEMIS and David Ellefson, solo project, and Altitudes and Attitude. So, ladies and gentlemen, heads up, I want to pop in the studio, Andy Martongelli. Here he is.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? Awesome. Hey, Andy, how are you doing?
Good. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, you know, staying productive. And this is like one of these things. I laugh constantly with each episode, always that this is the maximum stage that we get at this point. So why not make the most of it and have fantastic guests like yourself. So yeah, thank you so much for joining.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for the call. Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, it wasn't really a call, I gotta say. It was like really speed texting on our messenger.
All the while. Yeah.
By the way, it's funny because I gotta say, like, of course, you're one of the amazing metal shred guitar players, working among others with David Ellefson's solo project right now. But it's funny because you also text and type at the speed of lightning, number one, and you also post in the speed of lightning. And I figured, how is this possible? Because I'm the same.
I replied before the question, you know.
Exactly. I think, like, guys, for everyone that is tuning in right now, our meeting was scheduled within literally less than 60 seconds. Like, okay, date, boom, done.
Yeah, very quick. Very quick. I figured out I had the time. You know, that day, that just that spot. You know, so sometimes you gotta be organized at some point. Of course, it's
of course. Well,
music it's crazy, but you gotta be a little bit organized. Otherwise, it just kills you.
It doesn't work. Yeah, well, basically, in this performing arts business, as we know it on a professional level, the chaos is everything that is on stage on the other side, but the whole backstory is like calendar, planning ahead, like tours and managers and all.
So much
absolutely
like that.
Yeah.
People don't realize how everything is like not calculated, because it's not that calculated, but it's just planned so
absolutely
much.
I mean, sometimes spontaneous things come up, like kind of from day to day. I don't know how much that happened in your music career. Maybe let's open that as a question, like how much spontaneity is there within a guy that is a perfectly timed guitar player, super precise. Like, I got to tell you, you're one of these amazing musicians among many others. I will name drop them a little bit later in the episode. But how much spontaneity is there?
So much. There is because it's all. I mean, it's an inner thing you have. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't mean like because you're precise on your instrument that there's no art. There is art because your message, the message you take it out from your heart and it goes straight to the finger, straight becomes music straight away. That's it cannot be like more art than that, more.
Yeah,
more
it cannot be robotic, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Of course, it's been like built up since I was a kid, like listening to a lot of music, just getting like absolutely crazy about music, just like you can tell. I mean, I got like 6,000 CDs. Oh no, it's not even.
Welcome to the club, man. It's just
CDs,
like that.
I just these are my books. Just prefer like to which is this is it. Like this is my.
Are you saying that basically as a kid you did not study history, you just studied like history of rock instead because that was so much fun.
Study math and all that.
Okay.
I
We
was
all had to.
really bad at that. But about like all things music and history, I like that. But I wasn't that good as well. But anyway, that's another story. But
Yeah, it's like one of the many stories. Because like here's the thing, I guess like as us performers, basically, I think we find that pretty early on, and it's so cool you actually jump right into one of the many next questions about your background, like at school. Like, did you actually grab a guitar way before you learned how to walk or spell or stuff like that, or is the story a little bit
like that? No, basically, I started, even before say mom, before
A chord.
No, basically, I started when I was 11 years old, and I was a skater.
Kidding.
I was a skater. With friends going to skateboard, half pipe and whatever. And at some point, a guy, a friend of mine, like gives me a tape, cassette, of Kill 'Em All. And then the following album was like Peace Test, but who's buying from Megadeth? And those two albums for me were like, and I
An
just
explosion in the brain.
What is that?
It's amazing. You know what? Like, funny enough, like, because guys, all of us that are, well, all of us are watching. Yeah, we are watching each other. We're almost like in my living room. We're almost hanging out super socially, yet being very much distantly apart in different cities. I'm tuning in from Central Europe, from Warsaw. Andrea is tuning in from Verona today, right?
Yeah,
is that where you're saying? Gotcha. So it's like it's quite funny because I'm gonna catch you on that note that you're not the only person that started. Well, the weird artistic stage trip career, if you will, at age 11. I actually directed and choreographed my very first show when I was 11, and I knew shit back then.
Okay.
You're a teenager, and you kind of figure, I'm gonna do stuff on stage, and then it determines your life. So it's quite funny.
Exactly. I was like I really not that like not one of those like kind of made up things, but I was into that so much, and I really wanted the only thing I wanted to do was just playing guitar, which is what I did. What basically I did, like when I started with the classical guitar, and trying to learn the Megadeth and Metallica, Anthrax, Slayer song with a classical guitar, that's what. But
nice.
That's a cool challenge. But I also like the classical music. I still like that so much.
Mm-hmm. You know what? It's actually funny. Like for me, it's not surprising. Maybe for some of our listeners and viewers, but I personally find a lot of similarities within the construction of classical music. The harmonies, the balance of the compositions, and with metal music. For me, it's kind of the same.
You can tell.
It's like
it's so clear. Like even both bands, Judas Priest. Even the early days Judas Priest, like Iron Maiden, you name them, like that's so many.
Absolutely. Like even Dave Mustaine, right? Founder of Megadeth, he was doing a couple of years back this huge symphonic thing, and it was quite funny because they needed to find the balance, like of wearing a tie and like just like skimpy shorts and like holding a beer. But it worked so amazingly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of drinks, like there is no beer here. Like I personally don't drink, but I think one of the descriptions for our episode was actually coffee. And I actually started to do these podcasts as a not only time killer, but I figured this is exactly what I would be doing if we were like in real time, hanging out somewhere at a club or a cafe. What brings people together? Black coffee. And I loved your response because
dark and bitter. Like
dark and bitter.
No sugar. I mean, I like sweets so much. I'm just cakes and whatever. But coffee has to be like a black.
Well, Andy, you are Italian. You have the best pastries, the best cakes, like in the world. Like I gotta tell you, I know because I've been to Italy a number of times.
Somebody has to do that, and it's me. Somebody has.
You're eating for the rest of the world. It does not show because you're super
quality. Like checking the quality. Like all the restaurants, all the bars and restaurants. Hey Andy, hey Andrea.
There you go.
Red carpet. Like because I go I just eat everywhere but home. Just everywhere but home. All around.
Just binging music and pastries.
The only thing I can cook is like the milk in the microwave. That's the only thing. The rest, I just go out and
Same
yeah.
here. I'm the worst. Like I can literally burn boiling water. I keep sweaters and my costumes in my stove. It's storage. I swear to God.
Oh no way.
I'm the worst. I'm the worst. Oh yeah, like totally. But it's funny. Like it's one of these things that is not only like a lifestyle. Let's say with the crazy rock and roll scene and also being a performance artist, like coffee is one of these unspoken things that really bonds people and is a part of your lifestyle. Be it wake up on tour or like I don't know, it keeps you up for interviews or whatever stuff you have to do late at night, right?
Saves lives. You know, yeah. No, really. I mean, it sometimes like there's a lot of many times where you're on tour. When you're on tour and you got to grab a flight, you got to catch a flight like at 4 in the morning. Then you just finish the gig like 2 hours before, 2 hours earlier, and then you just don't get. You just don't really get to.
It gets you through the hard times. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, and then you gotta show up, early to do sound check, whatever, and you gotta be on it. And if you're not like that, if the performance, it's affected by that. So you always gotta keep it, the attention,
Yeah.
coffee helps a lot. Helps a lot. Oh, David Ellefson, he knows that so much. I mean, we're always like drinking coffee. Where's that?
Forementioned David Ellefson owns coffee literally, and funny enough, like before the world went out of whack. Funny enough,
some Ellefson coffee here, of course.
Me too, somewhere in the kitchen. But funny enough, before the world went out of whack, we actually saw each other just in Warsaw, like at mid February it was, and he was actually doing one of these like promo meetings, at a rock place, talking about coffee, talking a little bit of bass and stuff, and then that was then the Megadeth show was on the next day. We had a lot of fun with that, and then boom, no more coffee or shows or whatever for you, and here we are in the online world.
Yeah, we get it at home, that's always a way to drink coffee.
Of course, you get that through. No, because like also one of the many things, success-wise that we can speak about, and I've been doing all kinds of shout-outs, not only because ever since the new EP of your band, the Ellefson solo project band with Simple Truth came out. Congrats on that, Andy. I'm so hooked on that tune. It's such a fun
so much. It was
song.
a teamwork. It was a teamwork. We, I don't know if you know that, but we just wrote that song. We were touring. We were in Milan. We were about to start the tour. We were just back from a gig with KK Downing and Judas Priest, Les Binks, and Tim Ripper Owens. Like we were doing like that night with so Ellefson band, like David
and
Tom,
friends.
Me, what and yes, and KK Downing. So it was a great night. And then we flew to Italy to start. We did Italy and Switzerland. And and basically, we started rehearsing with Paolo, the drummer, with Valerio, the guitarist, live guitarist.
Yeah, the Italian lineup of the band.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Exactly. And Tom and David and Tom. Now Tom came up like, oh guys, we should write a song. And then what happened? It was like, okay, let's just write that. Why not?
Let's do it.
And it was that quick, and it was that spontaneous, that direct, very direct, like the song itself. If you listen to that, there's no.
Oh, I've been listening to it plenty of times, and it's so directed in your face. And you know what? Like with music, how it is with me, to be honest, from ever since I was a kid, it's triggered a very physical response. Like if it got a fire lit under my ass, and I was like,
yes.
there is something there. It means that's a good song. It's amazing. And I think that's exactly as you say.
It hits you.
Yeah, you get that rush. Hair standing up, like kind of thing.
Yeah. You know what? It's perfect because I do also boxing. I've been doing boxing for a few years, and I'm still doing that. And it's a kind of it makes you like just gives you strength. That song, that Simple Truth, is so straightforward. That makes it gives you like more power. I'm actually listening to that while I'm just doing my boxing.
I'm putting it on. It's at 6 a.m. when I literally wake up. I throw on the EP and I love it. The other song that I really love is "If You Were God." Oh my God, with David on vocals, like from the show in Milan. And like this one, in comparison, it's of course like it's super classic hard rock, not only, but it's so like lyrical and so emotional. It's like it gets to your core.
David wrote that. It is a great songwriter. The great thing, like Tom writes amazing lyrics, like very true. Like
there is no bullshit, and I think it's important. Exactly as you say. Exactly.
Hey, David has got his own style. We know that he's got his own amazing style.
You're all amazing individuals in it. Either way.
Yeah, exactly. And it just works well. Paolo, the drummer, is amazing. He's got it's very groovy, and he's got no boundaries.
Just wanted to say.
Yeah, but he's he's a young guy, but he's an old soul. He liked all the rock from the 70s, all the prog rock.
An old rock star that died at 27, and then now he's back to kind of finish the work.
yeah. So it's great how the chemistry of all of us, it works like so well. And now we're writing like new songs, like we're bouncing riff, we're sending riff each other, and I'm here in my studio, like kind of making this all together, and then we send everything.
This I know, because literally, guys, for all of you tuning in just now, Andrea Martongelli is literally one of the most busy musicians and artistic directors of a music project in the metal and rock world right now, because as we speak, you are in between a writing process. Like we're snagging a little bit of your time between sending files and actually doing them. So that's pretty amazing.
I was sending files to Paolo, to the drummer, like right 2 seconds before starting this.
I can so believe that. Speed of lightning. I love it. I was doing the promotion for this episode, and I was like promoting the crap out of it, naming it, guys, it's going to be the fastest show in the freaking universe. I swear to God. I know I always talked fast because I just go hyper. I'm passionate about art and stage and stuff. So I figured, okay, judging from the tempo of our contact, and we literally, I think I reached out to you, like a week and a half, like, hey, would you mind? Something like that. Like time really passes in the home time frame, right?
I just didn't realize what I just didn't know what happened in between. Like,
it's all a blur. It's one of these days. Like we used to look back in rock and roll history, and not only like in life period as time goes by. Okay, it was not 1999 or 2000, and all of a sudden it was March 97th. Who cares anymore? Like nobody is counting. Really.
Exactly.
Amazing. Well, you know what? I think all of our viewers and listeners, and also me, I'm very much looking forward to the new music and the next songs coming from the project, obviously. And I think that might drop anytime soon within this year, right? Like in terms of planning. I know I'm completely screwing up the schedule of what I plan to ask you, but let's just hit it.
There's no schedule. It's just happening.
Pure spontaneity,
enjoy the moment.
Ladies and
enjoy the moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
Yeah, but hey, basically, as I said, like right now we're writing like some very intense song, and they're gonna be like this. They're gonna be like many surprises, many killer things that of course I cannot tell, but it's gonna happen soon. So just stay tuned on that. The Ellefson band, like just keep taking a look at the page.
Be on it, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like coming back to like the initial like question I kind of have, and also something that I really observed about you. It's again one woman's opinion, but I think you as a musician, as an artist within the world metal scene, you're one of these incredible modal raw representatives in terms of how a musician should not only be captured from stage, because I think you work with the coolest photographers possible. Is that possible? Because I know, because I'm a huge, I don't want to say freak, but the visual representation of music, let's say, and the capturing of the moment in a photo shoot from a concert or from a gig is important. And like your photography blows my mind. They are so beautiful. It's just like, you know.
I just have to thank like our photographer, like Annalisa Russo. Annalisa Russo, she's
Shout out to
great.
Annalisa.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Annalisa Annalisa is amazing because she can capture. I mean, she took like even like amazing Megadeth picture that Megadeth
Mm.
used for, but for many bands like Muse, Slash,
Yeah.
you
I
name
was
them,
scrolling
Korn.
through the gallery. It's just like, yeah, it's guitar or rock and metal porn, to be honest. It's just
Yeah,
pure
she's an
enjoyment.
amazing friend, and because of the friendship, it makes friendship makes things special. Like it's just a chemistry all the time. It's all about that.
Absolutely.
Oh, Francesco, ciao. No, no, he said,
Yeah.
brother,
Francesco is in the house.
is killer.
By the way, I think Francesco was also doing like one of your like live streams, metal meetings that
Yeah,
I happened
yeah,
to
2
pop
days
on.
ago. 2 days ago.
Very cool.
Yeah,
It
he's
was
a
a
brother.
language
He was a
course for
top
me.
player. Yeah.
You guys were talking metal, and I kind of got this every second word because I speak Spanish, but I understand Italian. But it was literally
Okay.
like a mind twist for me. I was like, oh shit, was
Yeah,
a little bit
yeah,
tricky, but
yeah.
was a lot of fun at the same time. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
but
speaking.
as we were saying, as we were speaking about the photography, I mean, the good thing, I mean, I'm just doing my thing, and it's just Annalisa, she captures the moment, and I'm passionate about all those photos, like from back in the days, like the bands like Black Sabbath, Deep Purple.
Yeah.
A good photo speaks. You don't need a video
You
if you
can
got a
actually
great photo.
feel, right, what's happening, what the guys are
Exactly.
doing. It comes across. Yeah.
Some pictures, we know that some photos give you goosebumps because you feel like being there for some
Yeah.
reason, which you
For
don't
some
know.
reason. Well, that's also good photography. I mean, to be honest, it's tricky because like concert photography and event photography is completely different if you do a photo shoot and an editorial when you're like supposed to kind of stay in a pose and then it's
Be
directed,
cool.
but to really
Try to be cool
capture
as much as you can.
exactly. But to actually capture like the real energy flow and within
I
the
prefer
right moment, the fingers are aligned, the face
exactly.
is good, the hair is like
It's
all
happening
up.
now. Like it's happening. Like something like. I'm very shit. I'm very not really
It's
good at
okay. It's a
posing.
rock dance theater
Okay,
show.
I'm
You
very
can
shit at
go. You can do
posing.
whatever.
Like being like a. I don't really like it, to be honest. I mean, it's like, no, you got to do that. You got to do it for.
Sure.
But I prefer like you just play and then what happens happens. Like of
Yeah,
course.
and then do your thing. It's none of my business.
Not really. I mean, it's get I get like, oh really? Shall we do that again? but having as I said, having special friends, special people that support your art, your music, and you can tell. I tend to surround myself like with great people, with people I really can interact. I
Mm.
can because I'm very straightforward. So
Yeah.
I like
It
straightforward
shows.
people. They can tell
It
me
shows.
like, man, you shit. Okay, it's all right. Okay, you told me. I'm okay with that.
And it saves you trouble. I can totally relate to that because I'm the same. It's either you feel it within the first couple of seconds, you cannot really name what it is, and then sometimes down the line, it really saves time when you're really deep in a creative process, let's say, or really touring. All of a sudden, like it doesn't work out because there is no chemistry. Let's say something goes wrong, someone has a bad day, and because the coffee was cold,
which
and
can happen.
decides to
Exactly.
jump
Yeah.
ship.
When it's cold,
Yeah, microwave.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Do you
Yeah.
microwave your coffee like ever? Like, have you done that? That's one of the cardinal sins,
Well, I
actually.
did. No. I did once, but
Me too, but not coffee. I did rice. I wanted to heat up rice. And I put in like 5 minutes or 6, and it, of course, was too much. And then it turned into mush. It disintegrated. It wasn't food anymore. And I was like,
no
oh,
way.
oh, not for
It was
me. No,
dust. Like, no. Yeah,
was
and
a mess.
I did that once with an egg, and they have like those kind of the thingy like to put it in the microwave, and it exploded. So I said, well,
You
forget.
made a small metal show in your own kitchen. Why not?
It was like a
Spiral.
splatter.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's the system these days. You connect to nature, like you do a pyro show, but very ecological, right? You just blow up eggs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wait, who was that? Who was that? I think it was actually Slipknot. It was Clowns from Slipknot, like some years ago. I cannot remember the tour right now. I'm hitting it blank. But I think he came up with an idea to actually light up camel poo during the show, just so that you get like an extra experience. You don't
No,
know the
really?
story? Yeah, really. Well, I haven't been there. Like, obviously, I didn't see the show, but yeah, it was literally one of these things. And the guys were like, "Really,
Yeah.
Clown? Do we have to?"
That's very
It's
crazy.
taking it to the extreme, right? But
Yeah, we
I
like
think,
it crazy. We like it crazy. Yeah, it's good.
of
Yeah.
course, yeah, like there has to be people like that, and that's the
Course.
cool part about it, that it's such a variety, right? Like some people really stick to a classical, well, stage or metal show or whichever genre, and some people take the extra mile, let's say, to get
Yeah,
a
exactly.
special
They go
experience.
the other way. Yeah, the opposite. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I could not agree more. Absolutely. Well, we got carried away a little bit, but why not? It's fun to talk explosive eggs sometimes. Okay, coming back to humble beginnings. Age 11, Andy picks up a guitar, and then what kind of happens? Do you remember one of these like very first shows, let's say, where you decide, okay, this is not fun hobby anymore. This is what I'm going to do, like, for my freaking life, because I just dig that. I feel that's the right path for me,
Yeah, I just felt that like straight away, because I was so passionate about that. I just spent the whole afternoon playing, and with Artemis, the band that I still play with, of course.
Yeah.
It's the band
Is
that
that
started everything. Like, and I was 14, and we started like the first 2 years and a half. We rehearsed like for like 7 days a week, from 2 to 7 every afternoon.
wow?
Sunday included. All the other guy went, just looking for girls, and we were just playing like
And you
dumb.
were like practicing like crazy. Oh my god. Okay, another thing we have in common. This is pretty crazy because, like, I swear to God, I remember one of these moments being at school, and I think I must have been 13, 12 or something. And my boy friends, like my colleagues, because I was hanging out with boys most of the times. I don't
Yeah,
know why, it was just more fun. And then the guys were like, "Oh my God, my problem is my mom doesn't give me allowance. I don't have money for beer and to go out."
yeah.
My mind thinking process was, you know what? I'm thinking, how the fuck do I get more money to sponsor my next project, to go on stage? And so, like, imagine.
Or to buy album, or to buy instruments, like.
Exactly. Like, imagine the variety of priorities back in the day. It's like either a kid
Oh,
is so determined what to do, or you just do dumb shit. Pretty much, it's really
exactly,
a choice,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Funny. So
yeah.
you completely followed like a godly rules, kind of, 7 days in, and on the eighth
Yeah.
day, what did you rest? Like on the eighth day, what did you do? Like in the
No,
downtime,
no,
was
we
it
were just
sports
like
or
playing, like playing every day, like as I said, like 2 years and a half,
yeah?
playing constantly and enjoying what we were doing, and the rehearsal room, like 2 square meters. I mean, we were like this, like,
Close
it was
contact.
it was crazy, and it was super loud. Like, but now we survived that, so it's good. And
Good
uh, and uh,
initiation.
and this thing like really helped us, and I still have that attitude towards music. That's my call every time. Like, I always say, we're on a mission. We're on a
Mm,
mission. Just grab,
feels like.
go everywhere, work, travel the world, play for all kinds of people, and grab them by the hair one by one, just getting more people to like what you
Suck
do.
them in. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
I
That's
think it's
basically
I
it never
personally
changed.
call it spreading a virus, a positive virus. As much people as you can inspire with what you do, that's kind of the best thing, because I think art is the best virus and next torch to pass to a further generation.
Fantastic. Yeah.
You teach as well. We're going to talk a little bit about that also, but it's exactly one of these things, like really injecting something that really flips a switch in the mind, and then you never know if you saved somebody's life because someone kind of, I don't know, was lost, confused, had no interest, and all of a sudden, oh man, music, or whatever, playing, be it guitar, bass, and the rest is history. Next
Exactly. Yeah,
generation
yeah.
and lineup, right?
Yeah, and but I enjoy, yeah, talking about teaching. I've been started teaching when I was like 19, or and and I was already full of students. Like, thank God, and still I am. And when I teach for like a Modern Music Institute, which is a school like big.
You're actually the head of rock and heavy metal
No,
guitar, right? Over in that
the
institute.
rock and metal guitar department, and the big like the president is Alex Tornello, who's been like my teacher when I was 19 and 20, and then of course, and then we started to teach together, and gathering like he had of course like many great students, and we build
Among
up like
others,
a
you.
trustful army army of guitarists, and so what I really enjoy about teaching, it's like you never know who's going to show up. Of course, sometimes you find like people that want to learn how to play guitar. They know just how to do one thing, but they do like different from you.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. You said, wow, I mean, I never thought about that. I play
Exactly,
guitar
like
since, like 20 years now, and why I never thought about that? Why didn't I think about that? Just it's always like a evolving, and it's always
it never stops.
teaching and
Like
learning.
you really learn from your students as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that too, and it is amazing how people kind of break down stuff, be it even approach, because like I also had this discussion the other day, like is art really an academic? Like, is it cerebral? Can you really learn that? Or is it literally something organic that comes from within each person, their personality, their feelings and stuff? I think there's no rule, because also it's exactly like, as you say, that you never know who is going to come in, and then of course, you're always usually biased towards your own work. I know I'm a complete control freak and I'm a perfectionist, which kind of makes me, set the standards high, and then it's a fun ride, like in the long-term process. But then students are kind of either super fresh when they start out, or they already have a little bit years in. And obviously they just come and they show you something, because that's their way of processing things. And, hey, I broke down this lick all of a sudden, and you would never think like, is it doable really? Like, or maybe they finger it instead of picking, right?
But it's interesting, and it's challenging, and it's good. It's good, and it keeps you like trained. It keeps you like in always ready to go. And it allows you. My creative process has always been like the same, like very I just play guitar. Especially I tend to write music when I don't have the guitar in my hands. It's just most of the time.
You mean air guitaring? You're patenting air guitar, literally.
It's just here, exactly. It's just here.
Or head guitar, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When I'm sleeping, sometimes I wake up and just come down, record. Most of the time I was sleeping when I wrote something. By a mistake.
That's funny, because it happens to not many people. Sometimes it's really like just really being in the trenches, be it studio, I don't know, waiting for a bus, whatever. You sit down and you kind of practically execute, meaning something falls out of it. But also in my case, I noticed that for so many years, I had all these weird dreams. I woke up and literally had to go to the studio, like choreograph that, structure that, write, and then boom, the rest was kind of a production process. It's weird, don't you think? Like that.
It is, but it's just the magic of it. I mean,
it just filters through.
You don't even have to think about how it happens. It just happens.
I try not to at this point.
Yeah, me too. And you got to be good to capture the idea, and just go for it. Like deep.
Speaking
deep,
of ideas, Andy, I wanted to actually ask you about one of your songs. Either from your very solo work or ARTHEMIS, Father, the song that I also saw the video clip of.
My solo song.
I found that music video, by the way, very beautiful. As I said at the very beginning, for me, a music video is very interesting in terms of a visual representation, like adding a story. You can play so much more with images as well. But it was filmed at the Piazza di Teatro of Verona.
Teatro Romano.
Teatro Romano. This one, sorry.
By Elia Turra, who is my one of my best friends, and the guy who always like filmed basically pretty much like 99.9% of my video and ARTHEMIS video, and whatever I do, like for filming guitar leaks for Young Guitar Japan or
Yeah.
guitar magazines or whatever, Elia is the guy. He's a guitarist too, so he knows everything. He
So then
already
you
knows. I
understand.
don't have to
Yeah,
explain
yeah,
him
yeah.
anything because he knows everything, and it's fun, and we have fun, and we make things happen. So it's and he did that video like in a Teatro Romano in Verona. And,
Yeah, it was very beautiful. Yeah, but by the way, guys, I will throw out the link. You can and should watch it. If you're not following Andy on social media yet, well, this is the very last moment. So, like, if you're watching right now, click subscribe to Rock Dance Theater, then Andy, and then all of the good stuff, right? So yeah.
Cool.
It's one of these things for me is always interesting, and I did go down the rabbit hole a little bit of your music video, but it's just it's a long history. It's a tip of the iceberg.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot going on because I mean, like during the years, like I've been playing like for 8 years old with ARTHEMIS, of course, still doing that. Even but I play like with a Power Quest, a band from London, from UK, like for 4 albums, the first 4 albums, and then on the first 2 there was also Sam from Dragon Force, and we were the guitarists, like and then just through the years, I mean, there were a lot. I was playing like for a bit with Cobra and the Lotus tour as a touring musician in Canada. Great band and great friends. And then so there's a lot going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why I did name this episode as like, guys, we are meeting today the most busy guitar player like out there in the world, which is like the best thing actually possible. Like you've also played with many of my personal guitar heroes, my favorites. You've jammed with Steve Vai, and you did a NAMM show with Glenn Sobel, among others, drummer, of course, for Alice Cooper.
Exactly,
recently, who else was there? Of
Paul
course,
Gilbert. Oh yeah, Michelangelo, Paul Gilbert.
Michelangelo, yeah. You had also
Friedman,
Marty Friedman, yeah, all of those amazing guys, amazing artists, absolutely.
Exactly.
And also, it's funny because I'm kind of a late bloomer in the sense of I know music, I know sound. It's like it's been around me ever since I was a kid, but I suck at names and titles. So for me, it's a little bit, really? That guy played. Oh, that's the name of the album. And that's how I discover and how I learn. And funny enough, I loved the project of David Ellefson and Frank Bello from Anthrax, like the Altitude and Attitude. And like I did not know what that was, but then I broke it down and I saw also your name. It's like, oh, Andy plays on that too. And then it hit me. Voila. Okay.
Voila. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You guys did tour like the European tour, right? In Paris and in Zurich. You've been to Sweden also with that.
Yeah. We were
that must have been a very fun tour, right? To do.
Yeah, that was amazing. Being on stage, of course, like with and just sharing, the adventure, with David, Frank, who's an amazing friend. Then we became like very great friends with Joe Babiak, the drummer.
Yeah,
he was already my friend because we played together on a Michelangelo song. And
oh really? I didn't know that.
Like,
see, I'm learning so much.
Small world, and then we got to meet like the whole Slash band and Slash, of course, the whole band, and it was that tour was fun. It was last year, not many.
But
many
it feels like a million years ago, right?
Exactly, because we did so many things in between.
Yeah, cool. Each day is busy, and that's the best thing. I mean, I think that's what we can wish for any performing artist, pretty much to have kind of that stress load. And it's not stress; it's just like if you're busy, that's the best thing, and it does not feel like work because, as you say, it's fun and you love it, and you cannot live without it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I never complain. Really. I mean, I appreciate like the little things all in life. Like this is it. This is great. Let's do it. Don't even think too much. Just do it.
Don't bitch about it. Yeah, just enjoy life. Well, that's that's what was always very close to my heart in terms of you Italians, and I mean by that because my mom spent a substantial amount of time over there. So for me, also then later in my adult career, like touring and hanging out with all of the guys, it's like you have that in the blood, like the enjoyment of life, and it's never ending. You stay outside and you have the best food, you drink the best wine and coffee and stuff, and it's really embracing to the fullest what you have each day, and that I find amazing. That's why also when I saw the EP of Simple Truth just dropping, and of course for all of you guys that don't know, and if you know, it's fantastic. Support the cause, because also all of the proceeds from that song are going to the Red Cross in Italy. Support right now, because you guys have been smacked hard. And it was also when we kind of met online, that was exactly one of my first thoughts, that my heart really goes out to you guys, because I know you as people, and I've been to multiple cities, and I have so many good memories of that. And it's just, hopefully this all will go away and blow away, because I want to be back in Italy.
You will.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
For sure.
By the way, I think what measures a guy, like coming back to metal, which is all we can talk about, like pretty much, because it's exciting.
I think
which measures a man, and the amount of 100% or 101% within the bloodstream. I picked up one of your photos from Instagram where you literally are holding a croissant, horns up.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's as much metal you are. It's if someone turns food into metal, it means
full of cream, like so much, like just exploding. Like before the explosion. That was before.
That was a hilarious shot. It's like, I am so reassured right now. Like, guys, I'm going to throw that in the comments so that you can watch. And also, like, Andy's Instagram really is pure enjoyment if you really want to catch up on all of the years of his career, and also kind of, backstage shots. This is a fantastic one of them.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, there was one other thing, like considering like food and metal and diet and staying on stage. Do you have a side of boxing, which you already mentioned and actually answered way before I asked the question, which is your skill? I noticed.
Okay.
What keeps
which is my skill? Yeah. Good.
Hello. It's official. What keeps you fit, Andy? Like, do you have a regime to kind of, sustain you being in shape, a professional performer, touring musician, and all?
Basically, I mean, I just eat like a beast. I really eat.
You need your calories.
I need a lot of sweets as well, and well, I mean, and that the rest is like just training myself like 2 or 3 times a week doing boxing, and that burns your, burns your brain and your, like it just keeps you in good shape. The thing is, like if you're touring, you gotta stay healthy. You gotta be on it, because sometimes
absolutely,
you gonna have a headache, and it's gonna affect the performance.
It's harder. It's harder to translate like really like full energy load that as you would really want. Absolutely, not many people realize, because it looks easy and simple on TV and effortless, because you're a great performer and your skills are spotless. But at the same time, people don't realize that it's a high athletic sport. You really are an athlete, just like in Olympic Games, and you gotta work at it each and every single day.
There has to be a moment like during the day, like even 10 minutes or 15, but something to keep you, and the brain works better. And I don't know if and boxing is very challenging. It drains you some days. Sometimes you didn't, of course you went out, you played, and then you said, because I train in the morning, early in the morning we do the training with Mohammed Greg, who is a champion, and he.
Wow.
And there's no excuses. You gotta be honest. And sometimes I arrive there. I go to the gym, to the boxing gym, and I like.
Oh God! Again, why am I doing this?
Exactly. Why am I doing that? Even while I'm driving, I say, "Fuck, I should
change the job.
Maybe I should go like the other way." But then I go because I know it's good for it's good for everything.
I don't think I would imagine you working as an accountant. I swear to God, like anything that is static, like forget it. You would probably shoot yourself within half a day.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, no,
it's
not for me. Not for me. Yeah, it's not.
You know what? It's funny because you play Ibanez guitars. You're also an Ibanez artist, right?
Yes.
What is your current guitar that you're actually like recording? Let's say Simple Truth.
Simple Truth.
In terms of gear.
Yeah, I was recording with Ibanez Destroyer.
Okay.
It is like the guitar like that Adrian Smith was using. Like it's that kind of historical guitar for Ibanez. You know, like
Guys, Google it, but I don't think you really need to because we have a lot of guitar fans like over here.
Ibanez Destroyer. Yeah. And even for the name, you know, the Kiss Destroyer. You know,
Hello. It's a perfect match.
Kiss. And then I was using an Action label, or is the new kind of new line of guitar. It's very plays very you know, very heavy but very clear at the same time. You know what I mean? And then I was using 3 guitars. 1, 2, and which one? Yeah, was it the Paul Stanley? Paul Stanley. For recording the other rhythm. Yeah, Paul Stanley guitar.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, okay, intro you do on one, and then you do the main riff on the other. It's just being greedy and being able to choose from the best, right?
Exactly. Yes. Now sometimes, you know, the every song has to be. I know I got tones of guitar, and I know how this sounds, how this sounds, and I'm lucky. I have a team. Like the Ibanez Italy team.
Yeah.
They just it's Fabio Gobbi and Michele Migi. Those guys are, you know, brothers, and they grab my guitar when it comes out, and then, you know, like make it work perfectly. You know, work on the wire, you know, the wiring and the frets, and everything. Puts them like perfect for me, like to perform live and in studio. So it's great. Even having like my friends who are like very professional. They set up guitars for so many people in the world. So they kind of the right guys.
They understand the business. Yeah, they're the right go-to guys. Yeah. Do you have a custom go-to, Andy? Like, I know we have to wrap it up, and I have to let you go because I know you're super busy. But yeah, last geek question. Do you have a custom coming up? Like,
yes.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, something to look forward to.
First time I say that. I say that.
Really? Do I have a Rock Dance Theater exclusive? That's
exactly.
So cool.
At the moment, it's coming. So I just can't wait to get that. You know what I mean?
Right? I know the feeling, because you know what? It's one of these things, like when you have the dream, kind of, you want to make it a reality, like in the material world. So yeah, you just kind of want to talk about it and write about it. That's fantastic. Exactly. Yeah, we will totally.
Like, they told me like just write out, just email us your dream guitar, like all specs, whatever you want. And I did that for sure. You know,
that's very tricky, right? To give that liberty is just like, oh, you can go wild and not even respect the laws of physics.
Yeah, so it's coming. Like.
Fantastic. You know what? Like, I think we should leave the audience with a little bit question of a doubt, you know, and not give everything away. Something exciting.
Exactly.
Hopefully for episode 2, you know, if you ever have the time within the upcoming future, it would be awesome to have you and and just talk about all of the good things again.
Yep.
Sweet.
Great.
Thank you so much, Andy. It was a huge pleasure to have you on.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Metal.
Yeah, stay metal. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye, Andy. Ciao. Ladies and gentlemen, exactly. As you heard, there is going to be a lot of excitement happening not only in the David Ellefson camp, with that, Andy Martongelli custom guitar coming up. And basically, if you don't follow Andy on Instagram yet, you're doing a huge mistake, or you were really missing out on the last 20 years of metal and all of the good, exciting stuff in performing arts. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. This episode will air within a day and a half on New York time. We're going to add all of the cool post-produced elements and gadgets for your enjoyment purely. And also, this is going to be turned into a podcast on your local chosen platform, both Spotify, Anchor, and everything else. So stay tuned for that, guys. And thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, signing off. Later. And